except for the weekend. But I'm glad that he let me borrow. I did get my laptop working again. Still probably going to have to replace the cell phone. But I don't want to forget that too. I'm just doing a couple setup things, and I'm still curious if by now this one should load. I would think. I don't know why. It was really good. I would have watched at least some of it, but anyway. Okay. So we go here. I put the thing for the scroller. That was, I'm pretty mindful of this. One thing I like to, highlighting certain comments, but I do want to remember to do it. So what I'm going to do is go here. Put this here for the scrollers. And actually add to it a little bit. Okay. I almost want to say one thing, but I don't mean it entirely, and I don't want it to. Do it. Like this. Like this. So I'm just getting started here, and I'm just doing a quick setup thing. Additional setup thing. I'm glad to have whoever's here, and hopefully you're having a great weekend. You're having or week, whenever you're seeing this. And we got 3 of you here. Okay, so I'm just finishing up, kind of doing a little bit of additional setup. It looks like you all 3 tuned in at the same time, so that's great. Yes. So, truth be told, I was looking at some, I guess you could call them song playlists. They were like top this and top that and that. Sorry, I didn't word that very well, but anyway, what I think what the thing was, it's not that I was disliking some of the songs, it's that they were such short snippets that I barely got to process what the song was, and then it did the next one. Because I've noticed that with processing and the pace of things sometimes. Not so much with live streams, but yeah. So I don't really feel like I. Now we got 3 again. We're gonna run now 3 again. I don't really feel like I really got much from that. But I do welcome song suggestions. Oh, the only other thing I should just come upstairs quickly and remember to add to this, in that highlighted comment, I'm gonna kind of re-highlight it, just so that you know. A moment here, we'll turn it off. Also, if I'm not reading the comments, some may not be showing up. Hopefully they do. So we got 3 people here, and that's something else I want to say. It is a good segue to something that happened this morning already. Basically, if anybody thinks, if anybody thinks about themselves, I sometimes talk a lot and I read big comments. First of all, you probably don't have to know it's me. Although, talking and writing are 2 different things. One person left, well, 2 people left. They're like, yeah, actually, you do. No, they didn't say that, but I wasn't even talking about me. I was talking about you, possibly. But we do have 2 people here, and yeah, if you're worried that, first of all, comments can only be so long at a time with each one. That's just kind of how have that. But second of all, I mostly don't mind. Sure, sometimes I'm tired. What I've been noticing a lot lately is I don't have a lot of energy for general reading. But if it's chat, like if it's, or conversation, I kind of do. But because there's been some things a project I'm working on and a couple other things I've been meaning to go back and read through. And it's just like, even, well, I don't know if it's been after I've had my morning coffee, but sometimes it's been late in the evening. But anyway, we've got four of you here. I hope to see some lovely. Okay, now look at one, then give you an accurate. Numbers are really bouncing around, but not really anything. I shouldn't say that, but yeah. Okay. Thank you, thank you. I think that's a mix of cloud, and so it's going to kind of be like bright and then a little less bright. And so, okay, now there is something I want to watch. I almost am tempted to. Oh, can you bring? Oh, right, you're not going to be in there. Never mind. Just a minute. I'll give him something. I know, but he's been in there all night. It's fine. It's fine. Just a moment. So yeah, because I just had a. I don't know how much I want to say. Can you help me with this again? And also, we have to write the. I don't know nails either. Oil off the laptop to try that tape again later. Thank you. Yeah, lucky Sunny. Yeah. So anyway, it's really been 6 minutes. I know it hasn't been long, but I thought it said 10 something. And I think I am going to heat up my coffee. I haven't had much, and then we're going to have a nice brunch in a bit. We're both making two different things, but hopefully we'll manage to get to very well. Mine really doesn't take very long at all. It doesn't, but it takes a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, I did that in a very nonchalant sort of way. I almost do want to get more specific with that one thing I was kind of going on about, but I don't know. However, I will say that if AK sees this, you sometimes seem to be a little bit annoyed with our mutual, and I can understand that. I'll just say that because I just got annoyed by her too. But anyway, I don't get annoyed easily though. That's the thing, for the most part. And we certainly shouldn't be trying to annoy each other, and I certainly wasn't. Anyway, but yeah, so you know, in that chat right as I was leaving anyway. I had one other thing to say because there was a comment that came in right as I left that wasn't really towards me, but I thought of something clever to say. But anywho, this is meant to be an accepting community and a community where we all can get along. And yeah, she said that about hers too, but I don't know. She came across judgy this morning. I didn't like it. I mean, I guess it's true. We all judge. We all have opinions, but it's how you do it, I suppose, and it's how often. I mean, yeah, she hadn't done it often, and she usually isn't like that. But I don't know. As far as I know, she's unsuccessful. So, because she paused after kind of it transpired, and she was doing something on her other device. And I think that's what she was doing. Anyway, that does remind me. I had I guess a kind of a quote open on my one device here, and I wanted to read it, but it looks like I have to reopen it. It was weird. When I came back to the info house, it had other ones open, and they were actually songs, but I don't think it was a song playlist, and I just got them in for whatever reason because I wanted to look back at it, and that would be a pretty good reason. And I forgot to bring the stuff, but hopefully there's nothing here. Yeah, I think there's. Anyway, but I remember that there was a Shania Twain song, but I feel a little bit awkward doing it, and I don't know if I'd like to. But she is from my hometown, and also I for a while. I guess well, maybe I should say that thing and then go. It says Shot Whispers Cat, which is kind of an odd name. And she says, "Oh, you're a kind person. I'm new here." It says usually, but she seems to be about the shots today. She's shooting the shots today, basically, is what it was. And now I'd like to close this and have a look at it again. So they have it. But yeah, so basically, she just meant she felt very feminine, although she always is. But that's where I think that that came from. Uh, Double dipping, okay. If it's by yourself or with your partner, maybe. But anyway, so I'm gonna try and find that quote. I almost feel like I do remember it, but I kind of don't. And I think actually it was. I think I do remember too, though, that it was fairly far down. So I'll take a look, and we'll see what else we come across along the way. And other than that, we can chat, we can do music. Um, Part of me wants to save my energy because I'm probably going to be having a guest on my stream, possibly today. But the thing of the matter is, but not necessarily this video, um, because I didn't set it up for that, and we haven't picked the time yet. But and I am starting to notice that pre-diabetic dry mouth issue. Um, I hope that the vitamins help. They say sugar free gum, but chat is when they said, "Oh, it can help with TMJ." I'm like, how? Seems like it would make it more aggravated. But anyway, so yeah, basically, and I am noticing that a bit now. But I do have water. I do have coffee. That helps a bit, but not as much as you might think. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this particular person is planning to come. Like, and I don't think that she really pressed it meant because she said she can't watch long ones. So I think she just came. Like, she put a comment, and it really had nothing to do with the video. And then I said anything specific on the video. I'm just putting muscle rub on for a moment here. And she liked to heart of the comment, but still didn't really say. She does work a lot. But anyway, so I'm not too sure how familiar she is with it. But as far as this other person, one definitely is. It's been a little while since I've seen her on my stream. She's been doing a lot with her own channel and other things probably going on too. But and I've been on hers many times. I've been on this one's many times too, but I don't think she's been on mine much yet. But so I don't know if she's thinking to do so before we might have our little interview talk. But anyway, I'm going to keep scrolling through these. You can see the comment that I put there. If I had been thinking a bit more, if I'd had room and thought to do so, I would have added to that. You can collect, you can keep your comments to be able to post them after the video is posted if they're not showing up, because I really would like to see them and I value them. And that's the thing. I guess one thing is true in a live video. If you're not able to, if you feel for whatever reason, and I know that this person works today, that you have to go at a certain pace and you don't want to slow down and take the time to read a log comment, I can get it. Whereas maybe other times when you feel a bit more able to do it, but that's what I would have said then. I would have said, right now I just can't seem to process a long comment, but thanks for putting it there. Maybe somebody else will want to chat with you on it. Yeah, that's not how she did it though. So anyway, but I haven't been awake super long, but I kind of feel like I could see a long comment if someone wanted to put one based on the topic. And really the topic is general chat. If you have anything that you're passionate about or would like some support about, or if you have any favorite music you'd like to talk about. I know in the little highlighted comment that I put, the little blurb there, and I haven't been rolling super long yet, but I said some topics that I'd rather not. And I should have also added to nothing too weird. Like, I'm okay with a little bit of eccentric because I live with that. I myself am that a little bit, but yeah, it's it's always neat to see what people what people like to talk about and personalities and that, online and in general. But lately it's more online that I do it. Hi, man. What are you doing today? Oh, hey, Garrett. How are you? Did you just get here? You were listening for a little while. What am I doing? Not how am I doing? Well, I guess I've already said how. What am I doing? A little bit up in the air. So I shouldn't say not a lot. As I was mentioning, I don't know if were you here when I was mentioning potential guests on my stream. I know that there's something that's kind of up in the air. that um, we got a lot of snow through the night, and it's something I don't really want to do. I think mostly. I can't remember. No, you're in the States, aren't you? I think so. Yeah. Uh, anyway, but there's a friend, two actually, but one is a bit more likely to get back to me sooner, I think, and is a bit more. She sounded like she might be available today, whereas the other one hasn't given any indication yet if she is. But I'm going to have a couple guests on the show. I did a short video a few days ago. You could check it out after this because I'm happy to have you here. But I did a short video a few days ago, kind of like um, I forget what I called it, but basically I say upcoming guest. I think was in the title. It was one of my shorter ones. Sometimes I have long ones, but there's been a few short ones. But hopefully you might find it. If not, it'll be a surprise. And one of them, like I said, will hopefully happen today. The other one, some other evening maybe or next weekend. And just for reference, it's about 11 o'clock here. It looks like you left, but maybe that's inaccurate. Anyway, So I do want to be watching for those emails. What about you? What time of day is it there? What are you up to today? I think you meant in general, not what am I doing in this stream, because I don't entirely know, to be honest. But I'm hoping that there's only one person here now, and I'm not sure at the moment. I'm not sure if it's you or somebody else, but yeah, we can make this an enjoyable experience. But it should always be the aim. That's what we want, right? Yeah, it's true. Doing this means I don't necessarily have something else lined up. Well, I do and I don't. I guess I could look at that. I do want to look at that more. And yeah, she this other person, she didn't really try that hard whose name is Elizabeth. She didn't really try that hard to kind of confirm things. Maybe she still might. I hope that, unfortunately, she could reach both of us. I don't know. I feel mixed about it, but it could go well. I don't know. So yeah. Other than that, I don't know if you've ever given me song requests before. If it's Garrett that's still watching, that is. I didn't get very much there. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever given me song requests before. Putting on some lotion. And other than that, maybe I'm also meant to see some of the stuff along the way to that quote that I've got in this section of my device. So let's see. You could play even a little game with it if you'd like. Yeah, I've spoken about the thing that was one of the inspirations for this. I don't know if I need to say more. I think that I know that I'm pretty laid back and I think pretty personable. So if people want to talk with me, they're put, they hopefully feel like they can be themselves, and hopefully they are. That means somebody good who has nice intentions. Um, you know, yeah. Here's what's on the other. So. I know that this was deep and it was relatable. You know what we could do? We could actually, yeah, it doesn't even have to be this window. I'll let it pick a window later, but this is one I want to focus more on later. And as far as, but maybe I should work on my project a little bit today, which is anyway, yeah. I don't know. I need some ideas for the next part to add into my story, and I don't even know how much I should say about it yet on here. But I guess for anybody that's seeing this afterwards, because there's nobody here right now, that's a big right spot on my nail. What I could say is that, just ideas that for things that two lady friends might do with each other, uh, or moments that they might um, that they might have, um, connecting. I'm just thinking what some people said might go, including kind of mine apparently. And then the Q&A suggestion is kind of favorite kind of juice, which I don't drink a lot of. I was talking about that with someone the other day. I'm mostly coffee and water, a little bit tea. I don't know why you're saying that, but you can go away, green away. Um, yeah, I don't drink a lot of juice. Occasionally alcohol, very occasionally. Uh, so we got two people here. Is Garrett one of them? Out of curiosity, this is kind of an interesting instrument. And a funny caption with it, and some interesting art. So for all those reasons, it may be a bit specific, but that's probably why I saved it. Um, it even mentions certain type of bliss, but bliss in the caption, and he's looking kind of blissful with his expression. So yeah. Now after doing that, does that mean I want to keep it? Yeah, of course it does. um, so only 20 minutes in, but yeah. I think that would be my choice, though. Or whatever might be in this. I don't know what that is, the way it's showing. Oh, okay. That just. No. And I kind of went, oh, okay, right. Okay, so that's what it'll be. So, but I'm doing this now. I'll do this for a little while. And then I'll cook and have a bit of rest and all that. So, yeah, general chat, music suggestions. I wish I got some of the thing I watched before this, but I didn't really. So, um, and as far as the thing, and it's usually not an issue, but like the other thing I could have put in my highlighted comment is uh, kindness matters. But like I say, I don't normally need to, and I did kind of forget, and I don't know how to add a comment myself to the chat. And the other device that I could do, actually, I could do it on here since the laptop works again. It's only been 2 or 3 days, and I guess I'm kind of not used to being on it. Let me just add that in. Perfect. I can actually use this tab. Um, or are they? Okay. So this is London versus Ontario. It says the same thing. That was a premiering video, so I don't believe that means live. But hopefully they might. He might be. They might be able to tune in. It's a couple. I'm just gonna put. I'm just gonna put that there. I only needed a bit more room to get it all in one blurb, but there wasn't that, so that's fine. Oh, okay, right, yeah. So yeah, music, chat, maybe talking about quotes. Smiley faces and that make them happy. Hi from the other Ernestina and the girls. Hope you're well. Lovely to see you. Because yes, you know you guys still love you. I appreciate that. It's true. It's very, very true. Um, yeah. Um, so yeah. I will continue to look through this in a moment. Um, thing is, I can't stay long, but I hope you have a lovely stream. Oh, thank you. I hope I do too. The viewers are what make it that way. So come and make it lovely. Of course, I'll play my part in doing that, but yeah, um, and yeah, we all want good. Or how do I put it? I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot lately, not because of a super strong need, but because it does seem like some people need the reminder, and it may not be the person that's listening right now. It may be, and they've just left. But and would the person have known if it was something they needed to hear or not? I mean, you would think, but who knows? But it's kind of like um, um, it's kind of like, or it's not kind of like it is. I'm just doing an audio check. I'm pretty sure it's fine. Kind of like, yeah. To do to others as you have done to yourself, um, and or treat others as you'd like to be treated. I mean, it's very. I mean, there's a lot of sense when you take it internally and personally, or whatever. It's like, yeah, would I like this? No, so I won't do it. But again, that's just most people don't need to hear that because they already know that, but some people do. Now it looks like I'm gonna have to. Can I relaunch it? Um, and well, before I do that, I'll just check here. Okay. And yeah, so basically, let's see what interesting quotes or images we can find as well. Other than that, it's chatting and music. Um, I'm actually kind of tempted. I didn't monetize this, did I? No. I feel like I want to have the radio on in the background. It'll give song ideas too if I pay attention to it. And I can multitask sometimes. Good old ADHD. I don't want it loud. But like I said, I don't think I have this monetized anyway, so that doesn't really matter. Um, one, because of the way you do setup on the cell phone, it's a little bit, yeah. But then also, did I comment what's the face's video the other day? Like afterwards? Yeah, I think I did, and then I went back and said, okay, I just put a comment. So, but it'd be funny if moments later she tunes in. But yeah, so I just didn't. So, and that's in some ways the biggest reason why I would though is if I'm doing music covers, because they're covers. But then also too, there's been times there was a time when somebody, well, and I have to reset that up actually. There's still a way, but it's not as obvious um, as to how to do so. But I mean, there was one person that said I had angelic eyes and donated to me because of that. Not kidding. And you never know how you might help someone out, and and then you know, you yeah, I definitely have some things I want to do on this later, but they're kind of hard to multitask. Well, the one thing isn't necessarily but um, I would just have to kind of put these in a different order or something. That's not really what I do. Yeah, and I don't want to get too focused on doing that other thing, the other stuff I want to do on here either while I'm doing this. But overall, for a little bit, and then maybe I'll wait to make my lunch until brunch till after he's made his, because we're having two different things, and then I'll do the stuff that I want to do then. And he'll be making noise in the kitchen. I mean, it's definitely, he likes to have the sink pretty much empty, but with our water system issues at the moment, um, we've not been able. I mean, maybe we could put the pots and pans in the dishwasher, but I don't think so. We never do. We always do them by hand. Um, I've never really thought to if that's because that's the only way to do them or not, but he's adjusting them. Let's see here. That's interesting because I was kind of just alluding to that a little earlier. I don't know. There's nobody here right now, and I'm not too sure if it's the same kind of thing that I want to read out and put into this or not. But yeah, it's a psychology thing, which is certainly a topic we can talk about here because it covers a lot of areas and it can be interesting. Uh, is there a favorite area that you might have of psychology, or is there an area that you're still curious to know more about, or to learn about or figure out? I'd be curious to talk with you on that. Um, I was just also going to add something else, but it looks like the person may have left. Oh, and if it's whether it's the same person that's there now or not, we don't have to talk about that topic, but I think that it, like I say, it covers a lot of area, and I think it could be a nice topic. I'm also seeing a very interesting photo. Very interesting indeed. But it's kind of unique, and the name attached to it might be familiar to some. But that's kind of an interesting thing to say, oh, hey, that's me. I know that person. Um, you know, just different things you come across while browsing, like me, for instance. But yeah, so I'm looking for quotes. I'm chatting. I'm feeling a little bit repetitive because people are. But I don't necessarily agree with this quote, which you may or may not have heard of before. I do and I don't. Oh, I've also never seen this before. Let me look at this first. This is really cool. This is really cool, and it should be familiar because I saved it. But basically, it's we've all heard of a certain phrase, but this kind of reverses it to say greenlight. Um, Good qualities in a people, essential in a people, in a person. Um, and you're welcome to say. I really want to wait till there's somebody currently watching, but I've got something here, so I've got something great here. Really great. I don't even know if I fully when I saved it, I may not have fully processed it. It's like, well, that's interesting. I want to look at that later. Quite a while ago. Finally getting to it. So this is you could say this is psychology, a psychology topic. You might not though, but and this is really cool. I'm going to read these out, and you're welcome to say whether you relate to them or whether you don't. Um, and I'm also I'm going to bring this up again on this device. Um, relate to them, or if it's something maybe that you struggle with, and maybe I'll do the same. I'd really like there to be somebody here. Garrett sometimes doesn't stay around for very long, but I kind of have a feeling that uh, he maybe his phone died because I think he would have stayed a bit. I think he would have stayed longer than one comment. I really do. My stupid. Okay, can I? Okay, there we go. It still covers the one above it, but just out of pure curiosity, if no, he doesn't. Okay. So, first character trait, positive character trait, is when somebody apologizes when they're wrong. Of course, the other part of that is, do they realize that they are? Uh, I'm gonna select my favorite ones here. Um, although maybe I should say something to the ones I'm not. Actually, I do kind of like the wording of this. Their words and behaviors align. I think this particular. A lot of these might kind of be from the, or maybe all of them are supposed to be, but from the perspective of like partners. But I think that it doesn't. It can be just in general connections. So they uh, encourage connections, and much like the one below it, whether it's a former partner or otherwise, they speak about their partners with respect. Um, they communicate honestly. Uh, they show up authentically and offer you space to do the same. Um, there's actually a typo in this, but um, there's two more, folks. Hmm. The one I'll pick out of those two is that they make you feel seen, heard, and appreciated. Is this that chick? It is. It's weird because this would have stayed as it was at the time, and I don't remember her going by that. But I kind of like the image. I kind of don't in the background. But basically, it says sometime. Okay, there was somebody there. It doesn't look like they are now. Oh wait. And hopefully not have to do so for very long. Oops, I should have done that, but it didn't seem to do anything. That's good. So this quote and my thoughts of it, I guess it's kind of a quote. Sometimes in life, you just need a hug. No words, no advice, just a hug to make you feel better. My first thought on that, and the person left, but I don't want to segment this up with a big long gap, and it's like, oh, when next time somebody comes in, you know, wow, they might not. Oh, yeah. Basically, my thoughts on that is some people are just generally huggers, and it actually doesn't really matter whether you've been raised around a lot of hugging or not. And it's entirely possible that some people who have, that's why they dislike it. But I think that if you feel like you need a hug, as much as they are powerful and can help, I think that, and this makes me think of the angelic advice as well. I do feel that you likely do need. I'm actually trying to find the difference between words and advice in this quote because I feel like there is one. I feel like there may be some rather, but I don't know. I really relate to this though, but I don't know if I want to share the image. Not that it's terrible or anything, but what's the date of this one? Doesn't say. Okay, well, next day a tantric one, so I'll look at that later. This is a good topic, perhaps, for coming into a new this year. I mean, we're almost through January, but things to unlearn, or that you're possibly looking to unlearn. See, this one, ignoring my own boundaries to please other people. I do feel I'd really like there to be somebody here when I'm saying this, to be honest, because this is important stuff. This is stuff. I mean, a lot of people are big about the boundaries these days, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be. Sorry, it's just I'm at the bottom of the tube, so I'm just trying to get a bit more out of it. But I'm gonna have to get the one upstairs. We just got another pack with them. It's kind of so weird, but it was just two. But still, I don't know. Well, that's an example of what I didn't do this morning. So, yeah, basically about this, I'm not saying that people shouldn't have boundaries. I'm not saying that sometimes you don't need them. I am saying that sometimes people put them up too quickly with other people. I feel like I'm not even thinking of any specific examples. Uh, I just think that people can say, "Oh, that's going to be a boundary," you know, you know, and essentially they use it as an excuse to not put in effort in a connection, and most connections will require it from time to time. This one's kind of interesting. Where is the person to hear it? Okay, so I just read a few of these while I was waiting for someone to tune in because there was a quiet patch. And first one here, things to possibly potentially unlearn, making yourself smaller to fit into social situations. Um, it's not something that's hugely ever occurred to me, to be honest. When I've been in social situations, get a person left, whatever, they made themselves small and gone. um, Let me think about what I might want to say about this for a moment. Hmm. It's not that I'm a big personality everywhere I go, for instance, but and I do think that there are times. Oh, look at that thing. It's amazing that it holds them all. I do think that there are times when it's okay to kind of be like a wallflower or a fly on the wall. I think is the other way it's put. But yeah, I mean, like I say, this morning a situation that kind of occurred online was a perfect example of I'm not, They want to be liked and accepted. The importance of that. It's interesting because I am empathic. I am a people pleaser, but I'm also who I am, and I also, and I can say names, but I also, I I communicate how I communicate, and it varies. It varies. It's not like, and this lady knew this. It's not like everything I say in a chat is a big blurb. I'm like anybody else. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It doesn't need to be pointed out. Basically is what it is. So yeah, I said, and that's what I said to her. I said, I'm me. This feels kind of controlling. She's like, okay, well, you don't have to watch then. It's like, why does it matter to you? Anyway, thankfully, not everybody's like that, but yeah. And then I don't know if it was her or the other person that we were talking about. And I'm sure you know what I'm laughing at. Uh, that's we have a celebrity in the house. It doesn't say anybody's watching on this screen, but we have Steve Urkel watching on this screen. Funny because Steve keeps coming up a couple times. So you did do that. Why does it say you're watching on that screen though? Because you're here. Thanks for the like and the subscribe, by the way. I guess it's your first time here. How did you come across the channel, by the way? And I'm guessing your name maybe actually is originally Steve. I don't know if your last name is actually Urkel, and that's just a coincidence or not. You could be honest. Or if you just really love the character in the show. I haven't heard of him or seen him in ages. That's great. That's great. That was nostalgia right there. On to the next part in this list, though, that I would love to talk about with you as a famous person. Pretending like you're fine instead of asking for support. Asking for support is an important thing. I think that, and there's not really a super right way to do it. It's just a matter of doing it. But it's asking the right person can be very important. Yeah, I could tell the other person in the house about this commenter. We watch shows together from time to time, but there's been a large portion of his life where he hasn't had cable or has not been into TV. So, and I feel like, I don't know, something I said on a particular day, or because used to be fairly strongly connected to a Steve. I feel like I've mentioned the character before to him, and he's like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, what? Did you say that? Does he have that kind of laugh? Am I remembering that right? I haven't seen him in a while, like you say. I know he says that I do that. I know he wears his pants up high instead of dropping them. Yo, sup? Anyway, I love this one. Believing that self-worth depends on productivity. That is, oh my goodness, that's a big one. I'm not even entirely sure if I know what to say on that one, but it's a worthwhile one to look at. That's for sure. I am thankful. Speaking of that other person in the home, that he doesn't look at those two things together in a judgmental way. Because yeah, I do my best with the conditions that I'm dealing with, which have, some of them have been, health things have been getting worse. Steve, are you still there? Is that your actual name, or can I call you by a different first name? As in, like, your actual one, if it's not Steve. Family Matters, was it? I think so. And it does, but, you have to ever do it, like, I was reminded of something, not from this past Christmas, but a couple Christmases ago, 2 or 3. I was with somebody who, well, I don't really want. They're not. She's kind of gets into the holiday spirit. She's kind of that way, and her partner's in a different religion. And basically, he or the one year year we were out with them, and he said something kind of wise and stupid just as soon as we got in the car. Like, we were still next to our house. I'm surprised that we actually went and did the outing. And then the restaurant was very loud and busy. But once we sat down and we were talking with each other, not that we were a loud bunch necessarily. I don't know. It was kind of that blur of conversation that sometimes happens in noisy places, but sometimes it doesn't. Like, sometimes you can make out somebody's complete conversation, and it's it can be interesting, but it's definitely distracting and a bit overwhelming at times. But anyway, we were in the car, and there was a song. Maybe I should play it. Uh, Maybe I should play it. Speaking of looking for songs to play, hmm. So it's an odd band name, but I don't necessarily hate it. Um, I mean, it does me so good while doing this. And I could walk past him, but as soon as I get up, just punch now as if he's like expecting me to. No, it's like I don't know. He just wants sleeping. Anyway, but as soon as I get up, he'll get up and want to follow me. Um, but he might settle back down again. So, but anyway, yeah, this song was playing on the radio, and it was not a Christmas song, although it was Christmas season. But there's lots of different radio stations, and some won't play as much Christmas music, if any. I mean, what's secular? But anyway, and it was well, I'll play the song in a moment, and it certainly made me think. Oh, that would have. I mean, I'm not that close with this particular person in the blended family, but they should have then said, that that that's ironic, actually. That also makes me not want to do it. They should have then said that. What was it saying? I don't know. That you know, and I may have even said at the moment, oh, this takes me back to high school. I don't know if I was trying to get them to change the station or change the song, but I may have said something simply to the effect of that's ironic, or oh, this song, or something like that, which was some people would have cued. What do you mean? I don't remember what else was happening in the conversation at the time. It just didn't. But that, it would have been like, oh, so you relate to it? Okay. Let me see how I can help, I think it's important. We don't really have to have special training. We just have to have lived experiences and be, a person. Um, I think it is important to like try and like help each other through our struggles and our triggers. Um, that might be an idea of a show to watch later, but I'd wanna look up some episodes first. I was gonna say, what's the show name? I don't know if we really want to talk about that kind of thing, but I think you should call his brother. Um, oops. Um, so I'm just looking at this list and deciding. There's one about society's standards of beauty. I do feel like that's changing in the world, though, and I think that that's mostly a good thing. Uh, Much as trying to avoid conflict, but uh, I think that you should still find ways to um, express your feelings, express your thoughts, um, in a non in a kind way. This is a big one. Oh man, this is a big one. Not celebrating I didn't come up with this list, by the way, but not celebrating my accomplishments because others have better ones. It's another one of those ones. It's deep. It resonates at times for sure. I don't know what to say about it though. Other than that, we should celebrate the small victories, the small wins, the we should be proud of ourselves for the things that we do that may be a struggle, even if they wouldn't be for somebody else, such as getting out of bed, um, putting on a smile, um, getting through tough situations, um, those kind of things. Seeking external validation over self assurance. Well, heck, we're in a very external validation type of world. And I'm not saying that's bad, or certainly doesn't seem abnormal these days, but I think you have to have a bit of both. I think you have to have a bit of both, a healthy balance of both. This kind of is one that I kind of allude to fairly often on here, but um, and it's come up in my life definitely from time to time. Distracting from hard feelings instead of processing them. I think that sometimes it's okay to distract yourself. If Here's when I would say it is. One, you've made efforts to deal with the stresses that you're going through, and maybe you're just not finding the success, or not getting where you'd like to, or getting through those things. You maybe have a lot going on, and you're focusing on some, but you don't want to focus on all of them. Um, and maybe a lot of things that are hard to see negatively, or positively rather. Um, and again, it's that balance thing too, I would say. I will also remind, I think it's still pinned, isn't it? Highlighted? Yes. If they aren't showing up, you're welcome to put them later and I'll see them, but hopefully they will show up. I know the famous Steve's did. But yeah, so I remember putting this one in here a while back, same page. The work we do on ourselves becomes our gift to everyone else. It's very true. And I relate to that in my life. The work that I've done on myself is hopefully positively impacting other people, and continues to. I thank you for the fourth like. That one must have really resonated, or you just tuned in and you were familiar with me. And Mr. C. Oh, hello. Great to see you. Can't hang around long, but wanted to say hi. Oh, well, thanks for the like, and thanks for being here. I really, truly appreciate it. The ones that I've read so far, do you see how maybe how do I put this? I'm seeking that external validation, I suppose. Do you see how I, for lack of a different word, it's not that it's a terrible word, emulate it, or how these phrases that I've been using, how I'm putting them into action, for lack of a different word? I have to run upstairs for under 5 minutes. I hope you can stay for at least 15 or 20. I know you might kind of get into it and not want to go, but if you have other things to go do, then you'll know when you have to go do them. But at the moment, there's nobody else here right now. So, well, actually, I say that, and then somebody else tunes in. But yes, I'd really love to hear more from you. I've been, hoping I would again soon, because last time was so fun. Okay, I'll be right back. I think I've left you with a question there, a couple questions. Uh, I've got another deep quote. And I'm just going to put this in here. I did catch a glimpse of that. And C works fine. I'm just jumping into the conversation because I do remember you. But hard to answer your question. I only just connected, so I'm not sure. Do you mean that you've just connected with me recently? Because you have. Or do you mean you've only just came into this video like a couple minutes ago, so you didn't hear the question? Is that what you're trying to say? I know the answer I'm hoping for. What one do you think I'm hoping for? And yeah, I'll be under 5 minutes. Under 5 minutes indeed. The dog just went up to the chair, but no, the video today. Okay, good. Because I feel like we have gotten to know each other, and that even if it's just been in one video, that ain't nothing, Uh, so okay, well then, if you didn't hear the other ones, what are your thoughts on this one? The universe is going to keep triggering you in order for you to see areas of growth that still need your attention. The gift is in the trigger. Other than, wow, that's deep, what are your thoughts? I'll be right back. Oh, sorry. That's just me getting up and being old. Wendy, there's a famous name in comics. Take a look. And I'm glad that he was generous. Oh, no thoughts on that quote. Okay, then we'll pick another one, but I think it's a good one. I'll say that much. That's my thoughts on it, and that's my advice, my approach. Again, sometimes it won't feel like you're in a place to do so, or you won't know what to do, or your efforts won't make a difference, or don't make the difference that you hope they will. And that's where it's okay uh, to say this is not a trigger or whatever that I can manage to deal with right now. I would distract myself and focus on other ones. That. But I think, yeah, if you don't, they keep popping up. They keep popping up, and you will have to address them at some point. To better yourself, to find more wellness. We all have to do it for us to be challenged and to face up. Okay, we're still working on. Sometimes it is face up to things we'd rather not have to, because it helps us develop as a well-rounded beings and helps us appreciate good things for sure. So I hope you won't mind me asking. Think of one for a moment that and this is my as that one quote. I don't know if it was that one or the one before it said, can be a gift to others. So um, this is what's coming to mind from whatever reason, and something to kind of give back to you. Um, what is one from your own life that you're still struggling with? Whether you've put much effort or thought into what to do about it or not, whether it's recent or not. um, let's maybe make some progress while you're here. Try and make some progress on and I guess I can't read your mind, but don't think, oh, I don't have time to get into it. It's way too deep. It's way too complex. Maybe put it in the simplest way that you can, or summarize the issue, or pick a different one. I would love to kind of, before you rush off to your day, and I'm curious what kind of fun things you might have planned, if you'd like to say, this is where I'd like to kind of, give that to you. And anybody else who's listening to this afterwards, but at the moment, it's just you. Yeah, sure. I like this phrase though. Joyous union with the life of the universe, that I may know it fully, realize it deeply, and breathe in it luminous truth. Radiant Sutras. Can also show you an interesting piece of art. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. I'm going to show you this. It's okay. It's average, but it's kind of funny because you were talking about having your clothes out hanging on your balcony last time we talked, and I've never forgotten it. And I'm never going to forget that image either, I'll tell you that much. The one after it. Woo! I'm just letting our one viewer think about. You can look at her comment. Okay, it's just here. I think now. It was a painting on a shirt, by the looks of it, which reminds me, my guest, hopefully today or at least soon, designs clothing. Is some of the art that she does. But did you mean what was the one after that? Because I mean, yeah, we're an hour in, but and you have a fun you know way about your presence, but you're also trying to think of an answer to the previous question, right? So this is also kind of deep because I don't normally like this word, but it is a way of referring to difficulties that we all go through. If I got rid of my demons, I'd lose my angels. There's a quote, eh? I don't even know what to think about that. Another image. He's the admin of that group. And I don't even think you should be bringing that topic up, to be honest. But so I struggle with organization. Really, you should see the room I'm sitting in. Let me show you it for a moment here. I mean, you're like, okay, and then once I do, I'll be like, you're not the one to ask this advice of. I mean, it looks different on camera. I would a lot of shelves there, and actually, there's been some progress made. Believe it or not, I struggle with organization, and you're a teacher. No skin, and I get resentful about others having everything. Okay, I can relate to that part. In particular, people managing to get 8 hours. Nah, don't resent me. And of course, on the weekend, it feels even easier. But again, well, thanks. I'll have to tell G that, Mr. G. But again, C works. Um, I don't know if I did actually tell you my name, but and you're the only one here an hour in. But um, um, yeah, okay. So I struggle with. I don't know what to say about that, about the organization part of it. Um, I guess it's true. That's an area I still struggle with. We're all gonna have those areas. We're not gonna be perfect in everything. I get resentful about others having everything together. In particular, people managing to get 8 hours of sleep a night when I struggle to get six. I know it's silly. um, and I always get about seven. I think finding consistency and routine as much as you can, I suppose in certain lives it can be hard, but I think it can also be very easy. And it is. It's important. I think of my friend that passed away, and even this new contact, which I feel mixed about, but may or may not be doing an interesting project with today. I almost want to tell people to not pay attention to it if it ends up. I don't know what channel it's going to be on or what. Again, just C is fine because I don't like the way that the combination sounds. But I think you were asking how do I manage it? Oh, right. Yeah, I appreciate that too. Uh, um, I think that was what okay, 1 minute here. Whoops, what am I doing? uh, so yeah, as far as sleep schedules, that's how I manage it. The other thing that actually interestingly helps, thank you. The other thing that interestingly helps, and I'm not saying you do this, And I'm still looking forward to seeing more of your content. I'm not saying that you and I would almost rather not know, to be honest, but I'll make this point anyway. I'm not saying that you watch horror movies or crime shows or whatever on TV, but and for those that are wondering afterwards, chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. But I do feel like that's pollution for the mind. Um, and there may be some other types of media, but those ones stand out. I do feel like it's not healthy, and it does filter into your sleep. I would say, for some people, they'll go out and do the things that they see, and I'm definitely not saying that about you. The things that they, are fans of watching that kind of stuff, but whether they do or whether they don't, it's just like other areas of life. Like I've had many, I don't remember them often these days or for very long, and it hasn't been as often as it used to be, but I'll have dreams, and it's like, oh, that's like something that happened a day or two ago or a week ago. Like there's a connection, and it's the same with that kind of stuff, I would say. So if you're having difficulty sleeping, also, of course, our lives are different. Our lives, everybody's lives are very similar but very different. And so you have your job. I think you like your job. It sounds like it doesn't sound like it's super stressful for you. Obviously, it's one of those jobs that you take home a little bit. In terms of like you have to do your marking and stuff like that. There's the transcript. Sorry, your marking and stuff like that. But that's what you sign up for as a teacher, I suppose. But um, yeah, I don't know what else is going on in your life because stress can affect it too. And my best advice to that, and it actually sounds so simple, and I do try and do it when I need to, but again, sometimes it's difficult. But it's just like when you have a difficulty with in a connection with somebody, when you've had something happen between you and somebody else. I would say for the most part, whether it's someone you're close to or not, but it's best to kind of look at it quickly with that person, own up to anything you need to own up to, and otherwise, yeah, try and repair it and hope that the other person is able to do it. It's the same with stress, I would say. If or like sometimes, like I used to lay awake a lot longer before falling asleep, and it's just a very active mind. That was mostly before my streaming days, to be honest. But I mean, sometimes it's thoughts about the interesting people I'm talking with or the interesting things I've seen that on YouTube in general that keep me awake. But basically, if it's an action oriented thing, or if it's just something that, like I say, is stressing you out and keeping you awake, get up and deal with it. um, you know, um, I don't advise it necessarily being a habit that you start, browsing through the fridge or your cupboards every morning in the early AM. I don't necessarily, feel like it, like I'm not necessarily saying, oh, I really want to watch this show, so or I really want to check out his latest podcast. Wink, wink. That I'm in support of course. But uh, oh, oh wow, that's interesting. I've got to share something about that. But so basically, yeah, and if it's a matter of sending somebody a message and you're worried that one or two little noises are going to possibly wake them up, write it out first. Write it out and then wait to send it. But know that you've gotten your thoughts out and it's ready to send. And then try and let go of it. Like that's something, we can ruminate on the things that aren't dealt with, the struggles that we're still having, that kind of thing. I can't remember if you say you have pets. Sorry if our dog is getting yours worked up. Uh, but yeah, it's interesting. We often eat dinner around 8 or 8:30. So 1 o'clock is definitely much later or earlier, depending on how you look at it. I'm just going to quickly look. I hope it's not Elizabeth. I think maybe it's like that. Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. I wish we wouldn't keep the shovel out there. But as far as, but it's interesting because I was thinking about a friend recently who passed away. I don't know if I mentioned last time you were here. My friend, his mother was 104. She passed away this year, and then there was the 32-year-old. Anyway, point of the matter being, thanks for settling down, Sonny. Point of the matter being is I was recently reminded of how, at least a real one, you made one. Now that's intriguing. That's I've seen a couple live streams. One does babies, one was doing a hamster or whatever, like these little like not real, but like which is great. But then if it would get to a point if I had one of those, maybe not with the babies because I'd rather they get a bit older and less annoying, hopefully. But with like a pet, there'd be a point where I'd be like, I really wish this was real though. Like I know it's not. Oh, I don't know. It was just something I scrolled past. Unlike what the second person. Hopefully the second person that just tuned in decides to watch for a while and maybe chat as well. But it looks like you left. Anyway, that could be inaccurate. I don't know, but like they had fur. The babies, I don't know, but they were very real looking. They may have even breathed or had like a mechanism to make it look like they were breathing. Kind of creepy, kind of cool. Good practice, I guess, maybe. To decide whether one wants to have kids, which I mean may still be a thing in my future. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I think with the babies, the hair may have been painted on, but I'm not entirely sure. And there's one person that's really into plushies, and another person that she's really into dolls. But anyway, why I mention the that friend is because he and I don't know. I never knew, and I knew him quite well. Him and his mother. I don't know if they used to live in some other country or he was quirky. He was quirky, so it could have just been that. But he'd have his, I don't know if he did breakfast. He'd have his lunch at like 5 and his dinner at like, the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or, often, like almost like habitually so. And so, it was always like, you're so weird. He was like, okay, Jumbly. But he's like, I know. But so what is this about? And why do you think that is that you do that, by the way? And then what is this about you made a dog? What is it made out of? It's like it's my homie, DAWG. I have a lot of them, actually. Wow. I mean, you can do to the beat of... There's that weird symbol again. You can do to the beat of your own drum. You can do what works for you. But why do you think you do that? I mean, the most important thing... I mean, I was... G has a smaller... has a conditions which mean he doesn't need to eat as much, but it still sometimes make him. But and he's not necessarily or hasn't been for a long time until we were living together a 3 meals a day person. But I was raised that way. Every now and then I skip or have a very, very light breakfast. That's just how I am. And I mean, but it's cheaper and it kind of makes more sense. I'm not necessarily suggesting fasting, but to eat if you're hungry and don't if you're not. But at the same time, your body and your system will know, like, no, I don't want you to feed me anymore. I'm good, thanks. Although sometimes it's like, tells you both, it's like, oh, but there's a few bites left, or, oh, I should be eating, or I just started, so that happens too. But, or is it other, but why does that happen for you? There's Jess again. 10. Okay, so where's my glass? Well, it sounds interesting. It sounds creative. Sounds a bit like Joanne's ugly stick, but that's ugly. Where do I see a picture of this? I'd like to see a picture of this, I think. And what perturbed you to make such a thing? Were you hitting the brandy at the moment or at the time or what? Chopping board, at least it wasn't nice involved. And where did the hair come from? Like my head? Hair that I pulled out of my own head to sacrifice for the dog? Yeah, I don't know if you can do it in comments. I think you said you don't use other social media, if I remember correctly, which is wild. Maybe you could post it on your YouTube channel. Oh, okay. Well, a lot of things happen then for a lot of us. Oh, seriously? Okay. Well, I'm pretty open minded. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little weird, but yeah, maybe don't share that part in your video. You could just say craft hair or something like that. But it'd be cool to see you talking about it in your video, and to actually see you would be also really lovely. Um, so there, I've given you an idea. I've given you an idea. I've given you healing. Now, didn't you say you had something else to do? I'm not going to make you. If you decided, oh, it's not that important, I can do it some other time. I'd rather stay here chat. Great. If it's like, oh, people are going to be mad if I don't get to the party or whatever it is, then off you go, kind of thing. Um, don't worry, we're not as weird as a couple of the comments make it sound like, or statements make it seem like we are here. So, you're in a safe space. You can be a little eccentric, just not too weird. Nothing like, using your own hair for crafting. No, I was kidding. I don't know where I got that idea from, but anyway. Sorry, we're just having a goofy moment. You have to dog it. You should have dog-eared it, really. Yeah, I think that would probably be the easiest way is to do it on your YouTube channel if you don't use other socials. And yeah. Okay. Well, don't run too quickly, though, eh? Let the dog lead the way. I'm sure he listens to all the commands. Yeah, it's a good excuse to post a video. Like I say, just don't say the hair thing. You got to go today, but maybe hair, you put it tomorrow. Yeah, cool. No pressure or anything. Sometime soon. And affordable too, eh? Oh my god. Actually, I think I may have seen this in that one video of yours. Are you available? Oh, that's the thing. I've been having tech issues. So although I got my laptop, why is that not opening? Because I do have it open, but I don't know where. Why is it not opening? Open, Sesame. That's bizarre. Anyway, I do have my laptop working again, but the webcam still doesn't. The cell phone still does it, but hopefully I'll have that soon. So, do you want an image of lovely men to send you on your way? Because I think you know that about me, right? Oh, yeah, because I've told you I'm a minor, so it makes sense I'd be in the community in maybe another way. In other words, do you like football? Because I'm not as well behaved as your little home handmade dog there, I'll tell you that much. I try, though. I do try. I almost want to show you before somebody else tunes in. We're fairly into this video. But I also want to get your okay first. It's like, okay. Let me just put on some trans cream, though, to get us into the moment. The present moment. You're like, I only processed one of those. Show me again. I'm so glad G was... Hey, I don't want anyone to be offended by that, though. But it's our little joke. I don't even know if we'd know how to explain it. If somebody said, what the heck is that? It's secret trans information. So, yeah. I didn't like football before, but I think I do now. This is a really interesting photo. The greenish blue tinge to it. Yeah, well, this made it worth it. I mean, believe it or not, Steve Urkel was briefly here. That's what he went by on here. That's what his picture was. You know the name, right? Because it's famous. You're like, but not the football one. What's wrong? Go see a doctor. Like I was thinking the same thing to you actually. Which like I say, if I was to see one about the diabetes, he's gonna say active lifestyle, good diet, keep taking the vitamins. Steve Urkel, pants way up here. Unlike in the hood. No, just kidding. Did I do that? Black guy from a sitcom. Like I say, you can see his picture as one of the top comments there. One of the earlier comments. He didn't stick around very long. I'm sure he had to go and have a cast reunion or work on his next show or something like that. I don't know if he did much other than that show, to be honest. What was his name? I almost think I hope. In fact, I did see him on Tyler Henry. I think I've seen him on Tyler Henry. Do you know that name? I can almost remember the name. Oh, he's fictional. But no, his actual name is Jaleel White. That's right. Now I remember. It's always funny when somebody's last name is Brown, but they're white, or black, but they're white, or, that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm being a goo. I'm not being racist, I promise that much. Oh, I see. The one and only. The one and only? One and only what? Tyler Henry is the Hollywood medium. But in recent years, he's kind of expanded that a little bit to not just be for celebrities. Oh, right, yeah. No, I don't know. I think he was on a couple game shows. Like I say, he was on an episode of that show. Yeah. And, he's 49, the age my dad passed away. And his birthday's kind of close. His birthday is the day that Ray's mother passed away. What was he in? What was he in? Family Matters, yep. He was the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. I didn't even know Sonic the Hedgehog had a voice. I used to love to play that game. I don't really do video games these days. Comedy series Grown Ups. Who made the potato salad? What great Edna, of course. No, I'm just kidding. Interesting. Anyway. Okay, yes, it has been. Take care. Don't hurt yourself with all that running or anything. Sent early. What do you mean? You said it right. What do you mean, whoops, sent early? Were you waiting for a particular moment? Have I delivered it yet? The particular moment that you were waiting for? And what about the other person? Actually says chat's disconnected on this one, but what sent before I finished typing, what were you trying to send? And then that hi does not look like a sticker hi, but it does have that funny symbol, but we're past the point of return. We're past the point of hi, aren't we? The other person, don't be shy as well. I probably won't roll too much longer, but and this has been pretty good video. I haven't gotten rid of any of these images and made space, but sometimes I do and it still doesn't do so. But I am kind of needing to rest shortly, I think. I am kind of wanting to have my brunch. And at the moment it says nobody's here. So, but numerology is telling me to keep on. Nobody's here, but everybody's here. That's just a joke. I can make it in the community. And yeah, that one person said, well, I am too. And I took it. I didn't like it. And that's something unhealed. That's something that somebody might be a little bit too sensitive about. And some people might even be sensitive about being called too sensitive about something. But maybe it's worth looking at. I mean, seriously. So, because I can't think of why that person would have had that great issue with it. Not like it was that F word. I mean, I think maybe it was like, well, I know I am, and I'll admit it from time to time, but like, I'm still not really comfortable with it. You know? I am. So it's like, it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, I mean, I'm accepting of the view, you know? I don't know. It would have been interesting to find out why it bugged her, but I don't know. She would have said it in the thing. So I'm not going to interrupt him so you can continue in there when he's practically probably finished. Should I make mine? No, because it'll get cold and dry out too soon. I'll let him do his, and then I'll do mine. See if I have an update. Nope. So does anybody want to play an interesting little game? Hear a song? Because I'm going to be wrapping this up soon. But if you have a topic that's weighing on your heart, you're like, none of the above? Okay then. I won't even give you any of the below. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just being a goof. Saying opposite words pretty much. Would have been kind of cool to have found a song to wrap this up with. But alas, I have not. Yet. I'm gonna try to keep going to some of the events though. Maybe meet somebody that's a bit more, just as accepting and interesting, but a bit more in line with my style. I don't know what to say. As far as to collab with about something. Yeah. I guess it's that I don't find it that interesting. Sure, maybe it's not hard to see it, but otherwise, don't really find it that interesting. Don't really feel a strong calling to do it. As far as my own project, I'm kind of watching for those other emails right now. So I'm kind of thinking once those are done, even though I have time and life is short, I don't know what else to do with it at this point. I was watching some things which was mild trigger, in a new way than what they were, but still also enjoyable in some ways. I know makes a lot of sense. I promise it does. A show that I watch, but um, and I felt like it was maybe giving me some ideas, but like or settings, but not necessarily ideas. I mean, a setting isn't really enough of an idea. At least a diner, I don't think is. But that makes me hungry. So even though the dog just went from the chair to over there, I think that I would like to eat. I mean, I've been rolling since he started, pretty much doing what he was doing. I'm pretty sure. I'm awake still, so that's why. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, totally. In fact, I think just a little bit before. So he's been at it for an hour and a half. Where is he? I don't know, but I'm thinking I should maybe wrap this up. Although we're pretty close to where we were looking a moment ago. I'll go for another 5 minutes. Because since he's in the other room, maybe he was distracted a bit with all the greatness that's in there, you know? once that's playing, I'd maybe do this. I know I don't know if I want to really connect it that way, but that's how I'm feeling now. Maybe it's to represent you feel this way now, but you won't once you get to do it. Plus a double cut and dry. Anyway, I think I'd like to wrap up now, I think. No, I want to give it another few minutes. Just because I feel called to do so for a couple of reasons. So, but at the same time, we do want to focus on what we're doing. And if a bunch of people tune in and start chatting and just simply being there as well, chatting is always preferred. But then it's kind of like then it would yeah. So what I'm thinking, okay, you laughed, but I think maybe that's one of the reasons because there might be somebody that needs a few moments of my time, and I might appreciate their the visit with them too, but also too. I want to see if the next person that tunes in might have a suggestion on a certain something. Huh. I don't like the wall color though. I mean, I have heard from them, but those are certain ones that for some reason this weekend, or that I thought might be good to ask some other time if need be. I'm not really sure. I mean, that is a good song that's playing right now, but the music video is a little odd, and I don't know. It's just I do and don't feel it. I think there's a couple of lyrics that I find odd, but I otherwise like the melody. I like the lyrics. Um, but yeah, so if anybody, I've been rolling for a while, and at the moment there has been some activity. At the moment, it's a little quieter, no pressure. But okay, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's able to be heard in on the video if it's just loud enough to be, especially if I'm not saying anything. But yeah, basically what I'm thinking is I'm going to be wrapping this video up soon. If there's a song you'd like to hear me do, maybe suggest two or three just in case I don't know or um okay. And this is what I say sometimes. I want to do music because it looks like the person left and they didn't just know song. But I know it's not something. It's something that I often struggle with too, and I'm, like a lot of music and a musical and all that. But I think that was the second. I don't know if I actually got it verbalized. They were here and left so soon, but the second one there, I definitely did. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's weird that she put a hi after chatting, and maybe she meant to type bye, but then why didn't it come through as that? And she said sent it early before she types finish sending. The U2 was after I said the thing, so I don't know what she had intended to fully send with her last message, but then I said something like take care, and she said U2, so that works too. But anyway, yeah, but I am a little bit worried that radio might be a little bit loud when I'm not speaking. But and yeah, like I said, I'm not necessarily feeling like doing that song. I don't know if you can hear it, but if you would like to suggest 2 or 3 songs for me to pick from, 1 or 2, to wrap this up with, I'd love to do them. Perform them. You know what? I've just tried to do that. And again, maybe it's that, oh, I know there's so many songs I don't know how to pick. It's just like I don't want to feel pressured into saying it. Some people might though. So I'll say it because those are the people that in case those are the people that tune in. But I think at this point I probably, because I don't have any ideas. I've been rolling for a while. I'm tired. I'm sure that G is okay upstairs, but he's been up there much longer than I thought. But it's possible that he just kept doing what he was doing because he heard that I was still streaming, especially those really laffy taffy moments. So I don't usually say that, but there you have it. So although of course he could have came down, but maybe he thought that sometimes I feel like he's more distracting and a little too goofy, which is sometimes the case. But sometimes it works nicely. And that conversation about the co-workers the other day was kind of interesting. I think I probably did that video because the rest of it was kind of But anyway, so yeah, basically, so that could be what it is. I don't know. But I'm hungry. I'm ready I've only had half a muffin today. I'm ready to go do other things. But I'll probably stream once more today. I know I'm doing this far in, but somebody may have skipped a little bit and hear it. But I probably will do one more today. Whether that'll be with my friend Kath or not, I don't know. I think I need to save. I mean, it's not even a matter of, well, it is in a way, but like there are times when I'm not really talking much and the pre-diabetic, I'm feeling my symptoms of different things, or my mouth feels dry. It doesn't matter because sometimes if I'm drinking anything or not. But today, part of it was, I was feeling it. I had a bit of inspiration, and I haven't been doing it as much during the day, during the week. So part of it was that, I just wanted to do that. And the other part was I was feeling decent. So that's kind of the thing. I don't think I'll have to cancel if we do make a plan because of this, but because of these things. But hopefully all works out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty able today because it's not the greatest weather out, and don't have the money in transportation. I'm pretty able to kind of go with my inspiration, and I always appreciate that blessing. But because I only have, well, on here and one other way that I can reach this friend. So I mean, I don't know. Well, if I knew the name of her husband's company, but no, I'm not going to be calling it. But so yeah, I guess we'll just have to see if we hear back. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up. Talk to you later. Bye.